series following Britain's finest young motorcycle racers. We're here at Donington Park for round 2 of the 2013 season. Welcome to Thundersport GB, the Aprilia Challenge.
Well, I'm here in the Aprilia truck, and what better way to start things off here on a cold Donington morning than to catch up with the two Aprilia Challenge Championship leaders. Start off here with Bradley Peary. Bradley, 13 years old. Last year was your first season in the Super Teens, and you won the newcomers. This year, you come into Donington with the championship lead. How are you coping with the pressure?
Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit hard. Like, I got to keep all like fitness, and I got to keep my head on like straight. And last year I had a good 7 or 8 crashes, like, and this year I'm just going to try and be as consistent as I can possibly be. And yeah, I'm just going to try and win the races if I can and do the best I can.
So consistency is the key for this year. Who have you got your eye on? Because there's a couple of riders out there that are looking pretty sharp here so far.
Zach's obviously really quick. You got Kerr, who won a race yesterday, and I think Charlie Nesbitt's pretty quick as well. And Ross has always been one of my rivals. Okay,
and any reason for the pink wheels?
I don't think I'll be using the pink wheels today because we didn't get over winter. We didn't get around to painting the wet wheels, so we've still got gold wheels, and probably still gonna have wets in today. It's cold, freezing.
Okay, well, thanks for you, Bradley. We're going to move on now to Harry Coombe. And Harry, you've been there before. You were an Aprilia Super Teen rider. You're 15 years of age. You've moved on to the Aprilia 450. How do you find the transition?
I mean, first off, it was obviously quite a bit different swapping from 2-stroke to 4. But now you're into it, it's just, well, for me, tons better, really. I love the bike. It's the best thing I have ever ridden, really.
You've had a great start to the season so far. Brands Hatch was mega for you, despite the dodgy conditions. Here at Donington, very, very cold. Yeah. You've not got a win to your name just yet, but you're leading the championship handsomely. How are you feeling about that, and who are you looking out for today?
Well, I mean, obviously, looking out for a lot of them, really. I mean, David, Will, Ross is especially quick this weekend, and Jamie and everybody. It's all quite a battle. I mean, I was a little bit disappointed from yesterday, but really, when you think about it, 2nd and 3rd for a championship, you know, winning championship, it's the right thing to do, really.
So just like Bradley, consistency the key for you as well this year?
Very much so, very, very much so. It's gonna be we've got a long way to go yet, so it should be good.
Well, we've got some wise heads on some young shoulders here. Time to start the racing. Aprilia Super Teens up first. Well, it's a bitterly cold day here in Derbyshire, here, Donington Park, round 2 of the Thundersport GB Championships. Look on the right-hand side, the snow that's packed up against pit wall, and the organisers here have done a great job to get some racing underway. And it's Curtis Drew that is on pole position, the 16-year-old from Cirencester. There is Bradley Peary. We just spoke to him a little while ago, number 97. And his current championship rival alongside him, number 22, Zach Corduroy. If you watched Brands Hatch, you'll have remembered Zach Corduroy's fantastic comeback towards the latter stages of the race, where he almost pinched the victory, but not quite. But a great run nonetheless. And there is number 86, 12-year-old Charlie Nesbitt from Swindon. He's a newcomer, hence the orange bib. But yes, track temperature at the moment, around about 4 degrees. So a number of these Super Teens have actually gone for a wet front and a dry rear. And that's because they've been struggling to get the heat into those front tyres. And we've got the green flag at the back. There looks to be a problem with one of the riders at the back, but the race is going to go ahead nonetheless. Curtis Drew has been looking good so far this weekend for the whole shot. He did take a tumble yesterday, but away we go. And the rider is being pulled away at the back, but it's Curtis Drew that has the whole shot. And just tucking in behind him is number 97, Bradley Peary. I can see Ross Simpson there, number 95, slotting up into 3rd or 4th place, and so Zach Corduroy from the front row has dropped all the way back to around 6th or 7th, so he's got a bit of work to do already as they head into Hollywood and now down into the famous Craner curves. On these Aprilia Super Teen bikes, around about 30-odd brake horsepower, they're almost flat out through there as Bradley Peary takes to the front into the old hairpin. They'll then come underneath Starkey's Bridge and around the quick left-hander at Schwantz Curve. A number of newcomers that have been doing very well here this weekend so far at Donington Park, sorry. They go around Schwantz Curve and then head into McLean's. That is number 74 there, Joey Thompson, the 15-year-old on the Motrack Racing Aprilia, trying to get himself up into the top 10. Look at all the snow there on the right-hand side. That just gives you some idea. We've got a rider that's going straight on over there and just struggling. He did well to stay on the machine. I'll try and give you an update as to who that was in a moment. Meanwhile, it's number 22 and number 88 side by side. It is, of course, Zach Corduroy that goes up underneath Lewis Good, who will be 15 years old in a month's time. Back onto the start-finish straight we go. Of course, the national circuit means that off the back straight, there is a right-left flick back onto the start-finish line. But it's Curtis Drew that has retaken the lead ahead of Bradley Peary, Ross Simpson in third. Number 7 there, and number 44. Well, number 7 is Will Keynes from Kent, 13-year-old. Who was a Aprilia Super Team newcomer last year, really coming on strong this year. And number 44 was Edmund Best, 12 years old from Market Harborough, another newcomer doing very well this weekend. Bradley Peary, very strong into the old hairpin once more. He takes the lead, and there is Edmund Best, number 44 on the EBR Motorsport Aprilia. He's actually a 6 times British grass track champion, and before the start of this season, he didn't actually know how to turn right on a motorcycle or use brakes, because he's been used to obviously going round in circles on the left-hand side of the grass track. There is Will Keynes, number 7, going through on the Fire Systems Services Aprilia. But out front, it is Curtis Drew that is giving a few problems to championship leader Bradley Peary, number 97 there. Just in the background, you can see Ross Simpson quietly going about his business, number 95, and number 22, Zach Corduroy, who was so strong at Brands Hatch. Number 95, Ross Simpson from Chessington. And, well, he certainly had a world of adventures this weekend. He managed to get out and fail to qualify, so he had to start from the back of the grid yesterday. And as they fly down into Redgate Corner, that's a good move from Simpson there with the bright orange wheels. He moves up to second place ahead of Curtis Drew and makes chase on Bradley Peary. This circuit really difficult to break away and build yourself a huge lead. All of these bikes absolutely identical in terms of tyres, engine size, tuning. So it's all just down to talent. And Brands Hatch, last round, we saw a similar situation with no real stop-start parts of the circuit. Well, Donington is very much the same. Make one mistake and the lap's all over, and Ross Simpson goes to the front now. He means business. He's not had the best start to the season as yet. It's early days, there's a long way to go, but he does need some solid points, does Ross, and that will do him a few favours as they head onto the back straight now. You can't see Bradley Peary because he's tucked up in the slipstream of Ross Simpson, and he pulls out and is going to try and go up the inside on the brakes into the right-left flick and does so. And Zach Corduroy is now up to third place as well and is chasing for the victory. So the 3 riders that at the start of this season we suggested would be fighting for the championship are currently first, second and third. Corduroy using the exit of the pit lane as a line into Redgate Corner. Simpson it is that leads. Curtis Drew, the 16-year-old from Cirencester, is just in 4th place, just keeping an eye on things. And further back there, this battle here is for 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th. That's Ed Best, Sam Wilford, number 34, who comes all the way from Germany to do his racing. His dad drives him all the way over for each round. Daniel Drayton, who's having a fantastic weekend, number 34. And also Georgina Polden, number 27, one of our young female riders. This is her first full meeting, and she won a newcomer's trophy yesterday. She's come from motocrossing. Oh, and Bradley Peary's gone down! Peary has gone down! And Zach Corduroy almost looked as if he'd followed. He's had his own crash there, Peary, and that's, well, he's waving, I think, just over to pit wall just to let everybody know that he's okay. Last lap flag is out. Zach Corduroy's warming up his tyres, so he's obviously seen the dirt. And, well, all of Ross Simpson's Christmases have come at once. He has got a decent lead now on this final lap. It's very, very cold here, and Brad Peary just losing the front end. Further back there, that's number 73, Cameron Tenzing Jenkins. On the Motrack racing machine, he's fighting for the newcomers podium. and trying to get himself 25 points. And there is number 71. That's Luke Harvey, a newcomer, who's just getting lapped by the race leader, Ross Simpson. This would be his first win of the year. This would mean a lot to him based on yesterday's performance. He failed to get a lap in during qualifying. He was in need of some big points. Further back there, you can see Ed Best having a decent battle with Will Keynes, number 7. Zach Corduroy, number 22, in second place. Certainly managed to get himself caught up there, but at the moment is in second place. Into the final chicane we go, and Ross Simpson has been handed the victory here, but he'll take it. 25 points coming his way, and he will cross the line here at Donington Park and wins in the Aprilia Super Teens, and look how much it means to him. He is over the moon with that. Corduroy will take second place, and in the background there, Curtis Drew, number 101, takes third. We didn't see much of him in the race, but Lewis Good has gone across the line in fourth place, number 88, ahead of William Keynes, number 7. And Cameron Tenzing Jenkins does cross the line in sixth to take the Nitro Newcomers victory. Good racing here at Old Donington Park, but Simpson has snatched the win. And there he is, centre of your picture, a very happy young man. And the newcomers, it's Cameron Tenzing Jenkins ahead of Best and Drayton.
Third position in the Nitro Newcomers goes to Daniel Drayton. Your first podium of the year. You must be very excited.
Yeah, it was a good race, got a good start, and it was a good battle into the first corner.
Excellent. And have you any sponsors to thank?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Locate, and I'm thinking about Dowler Lane right now. I'd like to thank Pewterline, Wiz and Pro Action, and of course my mum, my dad, Dunlop, Aprilia and Super Teens. Thank you.
Very well done. And second position in the newcomers goes to Edmund Best. That was quite a battle between you and Cameron. Can you tell us what happened?
Yeah, the last corner I messed up with my gears and ran wide, hit the gravel, but stayed on, so it's all right.
And you like battling with other people? It keeps you going, or do you prefer to be out there on your own?
I like battling with people, keeps it fun.
Excellent. And any sponsors to thank?
I'd like to thank Fact 51, the series sponsors, my mum, my dad, and my mechanic, Ron, who's also my grandpa.
Well done, thank you. And first position, Cameron. We've just spoken to Ed. That was quite a battle between you.
Yeah, like every single corner, it was just swapping places, swapping lines. It was fantastic race. It was a great battle. Loved it.
Excellent. Any sponsors to thank?
I'd like to thank Motrack for like just a fantastic race bike. I'd like to thank Direct Distribution as well for all their products they've supplied. Also Motul Oil for like the fantastic support they've given us. SBS Brakes as well. They really are like just amazing. Also, yeah, my mum, dad, uncle, and all friends and family.
Third position in the Aprilia Super Teens goes to Curtis Drew. You got a pole position there and a podium. You must be happy with that.
Yeah, I mean, chuffed to bits. It's first podium yesterday, and then today it's 2 on the bounce is good. So I'm just looking forward to hopefully more.
And you were battling in that leading group. Was that a tough race?
Yeah, it was at one point. We were like breaking sort of 3 abreast into hairpins and that, and chicanes and that, and it was just difficult. But I mean, thirds, I'd rather that than come off. So yeah, it's proper.
Well done. Any sponsors to thank?
I'd like to thank Sean Mastelli at Prestige Paintwork, Julian Hayward at Mini Motor Racing, Andrew Parfit at Jesse's Bistro, and my mum and finally my dad, just because he's been awesome.
Well done, thank you. And second position goes to Zach Corduroy. That was definitely a close race in the leading group. Can you tell us what happened with Bradley Peary? We know he was in the leading group and he came off in front of you?
Yeah, on that lap I think someone must have crashed and brought a lot of stones onto track when he pulled on the gas, lost the back and went across track.
But you're happy with your second position?
Yeah, it was a good race and Ross just pulled away when I was doing a bit of motocross on the side of the track.
Excellent. Any sponsors to thank?
I'd like to thank Machine Shack, Thundersport, Dunlop, Aprilia, Scott Finley for doing my engines.
Well done, thank you. And first position goes to Ross Simpson. You climbed your way up through the grid there and you were in the leading pack and you pulled it through with a win.
Yeah, me, Zach, Bradley and Kurt were battling through the race. Then the last lap in the last corner there was stones on the track and Bradley tucked and I got a bit of luck. Zach went on the grass and I just came and won the race.
Is Definitely an exciting race. Any sponsors to thank?
I'd like to thank ST Tuning, Andrew Jones Motorcycles, Aquaid, Kabuto Helmets and Hong John. My dad for fixing my bike, doing everything. My mum, Phyllis, Phoebe, my sisters, everyone for supporting me. Thank you.
Well done, thank you.
Well, that's race 1 done. We've got another Super Team race coming up in a bit. Join us again after the break, though, for the Aprilia 450s. Welcome back to Donington Park in Derbyshire. It's round 2 of the Thundersport GB Championships. We've seen the Super Teams. It's now time for the Aprilia 450s. Still just as cold out there. And look who's on pole position. Jamie Thackeray of York is on pole. We've been looking through the records. We can't remember the last time that he was on pole. There's 61, Harry Coomber. We spoke to him at the top of the show. Great to have him on the front row, the championship leader. Ross Twyman there, number 15, dressed up as the Stig this weekend. Well, he has been really sharp all weekend. Bradley Jones, 75. Well, he's picked up his first podium of the year already. He's fresh, full of confidence, and there are plenty of other candidates on the second and third rows to look out for also. There's a couple of gaps on the grid, a number of riders taking a few tumbles. Lewis Rollo is back on the grid, number 8 from Scotland. He had a massive tumble yesterday and actually got himself concussed. He was passed by the medics this morning to race, and he will be starting from the back of the grid. And as they go into turn 1, Thackeray just about holds on to the lead. Due to the cold conditions, Thundersport GB have allowed each of the classes 2 warm-up laps. That's just to get themselves acclimatised to the conditions and get those tyres warmed up so they know exactly where they are, and they'll have plenty of heat in the tyres, hopefully. But it's Ross Twyman that's taken to the front, and this has been the story so far here at Donington Park. Ross Twyman on that 450 has been unstoppable. It's looking like one of the weekends of his life so far, but what can he do today? He needs to close the gap on Harry Coomber. Where is Harry Coomber? That is the question that I'm asking. Harry Coomber has gone missing, and I fear, I saw him having 1 or 2 problems this morning in warm-up. I fear he may have pulled into pit lane. Harry Coomber has not made it. He's not in the top 10 or 11 here, so championship leader has gone AWOL. Number 15 it is that leads, Ross Twyman. In second place, number 94, Jamie Thackeray. Then it's Bradley Jones, and then in 4th place on the Beemore Aprilia is David Allingham. Another championship protagonist for the 2013 season. Just in behind Allingham in 5th place there is the brother of Jamie Thackeray with a yellow helmet there. That's Luke Thackeray, and then it's number 14, Will Hodgson. So plenty of points on offer here, and I would imagine it would have opened 1 or 2 of the riders' eyes to see Harry Coomber pull into pit lane there. We understand he has got a technical problem. Hopefully he'll be back and fighting, ready for race 2. It's Ross Twyman that leads. Jamie Thackeray all over the back of him, trying to find a way past. And that's Luke Thackeray just going underneath David Allingham there. So Luke Thackeray, I would imagine he's got eyes only for his brother in this race. He'll want to beat him. There's a little bit of rivalry there. They are very good friends, of course, off circuit. But certainly on circuit, they want to beat each other. And Will Hodgson now goes underneath David Allingham as well. There's Ben Luxton, number 9, who's just recently moved over to race for the JDF banner. John Davis, of course, who has taken so many riders under his wing and has turned them into champions. Ben Luxton from Stockport, just 18 years old, and he will definitely benefit from that because he's a good rider and he's coming into this class with Aprilia Super Team wins to his name. Across the line we go once more. Ross Twyman it is that still leads from Canterbury. In second place is York's Jamie Thackeray. In third place is number 75, the 15-year-old from Stalbridge, Bradley Jones, who's had a Super Team win of his own, just the 1 to his name, but this is an improved performance from Bradley compared to Brands Hatch a couple of weeks ago, where he struggled to find himself in the top 3. And just in 4th place in the background there is Luke Thackeray, the brother of Jamie, who's in second. There's 1 year difference between the two. Jamie here in second is the year older than Luke. And Jamie putting some pressure on Ross Twyman, trying to prevent Ross from clearing off into the distance. He was a top 5 contender last year, Ross Twyman. And we mentioned a lot of times last year that he was a wet race specialist. Well, he's proving us all wrong this year because he's just as quick in the dry, but Jamie Thackeray is trying to find a way past in second place. Third there is Bradley Jones. He'll look to just try and hang on to the leaders for as long as possible, but on this lap especially, it looks as though he's just dropped back by 2 or 3 tenths, so we have a 2-horse race for the lead. Twyman, Thackeray, that's Jamie Thackeray. Bradley Jones in 4th place is just about Will Hodgson there, up the inside of David Allingham, who's in 5th, and it's Luke Thackeray now in 6th place, and Ben Luxton in 7th. Further behind that group, we've got Dean Court, Louis Dawson, Alex Baker, George Stanley, Lewis Rollo. Lewis, who started from the back of the grid, he's just taken a bit of a knock in confidence. He had a crash at Brands Hatch, he had a nasty crash yesterday, last year's Aprilia Super Team champion, and he'll look to get back to his best. Probably have to wait until Snetterton now, and that's a good move from David Allingham on the Beemore Aprilia. Slams it up the inside of the Ron Hodgson cars. Aprilia of Will Hodgson, number 14. Back at the front, it's still Twyman just from Thackeray. Bradley Jones now looking like he's in a lonely 3rd place. This battle still going on for 4th between Will Hodgson, number 14, and number 11, David Allingham. Very grateful to David, who's managed to find a white helmet with luminous green strips on it. It certainly helps us out as commentators. Here comes that battle for 4th. It's still going on there, side by side into every turn here. And Allingham takes the outside line, closes the door in front of Will. Meanwhile, just behind them, Luke Thackeray and Ben Luxton, just watching it all go on, ready to pick up the pieces. Further back, there is the Aprilia Super Team reigning champion, Lewis Rollo, ahead of George Stanley. Number 48 there is Reece Hutchinson, just inside the points at the moment. Reece, number 48 on the Hutchinson Transport Aprilia. Back at the front, though, it is still 15, Ross Twyman. Thackeray not been able to find a way past. He's matching him for pace. The lap times are almost identical. In fact, Jamie Thackeray's lap time is 0.03 of a second quicker than Ross Twyman's on that last lap, but it's one thing staying with a rider, it's another altogether when you've got to try and pass them. Into the final chicane and back onto the start-finish straight here at the Donington Park National Circuit, and it is still Ross Twyman that leads from Jamie Thackeray, and maybe Thackeray will pounce now because the last lap flag is out as they head down into Redgate Corner, and here comes Jamie Thackeray. He's going to make his move. Oh, I'm not sure Ross Twyman even saw him there. Twyman just tips into Redgate Corner, oblivious to the fact that Thackeray was having a sneaky peek up the inside there. They go down Craner curves. Can Thackeray make another move now into the old hairpin? Yes, he does. And Ross Twyman knows he's there now. This is a race to the line between Thackeray and Twyman. Thackeray has left it until this final lap, but here comes Twyman up the inside into Schwantz curve. That's really quick through there. They tip into McLean's, and Ross Twyman just about has it. Now they head up to the blind entry point of Coppice Corner before heading onto the back straight. There's no chance of him getting through there. Further back, that's still the battle for 4th place, but it's all down now at the front too. Jamie Thackeray getting in the slipstream of Ross Twyman and trying to pull a move on him, but it's not going to happen. Ross Twyman has taken a nice defensive line and has surely got his hands on another 25 points here. Checkered flag is being waved by Dave. It's close, but it does go to Ross Twyman. He wins it by 0.06 of a second ahead of Jamie Thackeray. That's the best we've seen of Jamie Thackeray in the past 2 or 3 seasons. So it's still a good result, but he will be mightily frustrated that he couldn't quite get himself onto the top step. They shake hands, a good race, but Twyman wins it from Jamie Thackeray. Bradley Jones, a bit of a lonely 3rd, but a podium nonetheless. Will Hodgson does take 4th ahead of David Allingham, and it's Luke Thackeray in 6th place, and there's the happy winner in the middle, Ross Twyman, who cuts the gap down to Harry Cooper.
3rd position in the Aprilia RRV 450 GP Cup goes to Bradley Jones. A good position for you there, but you were out on your own for most of that race.
Yeah, it's a good position. This podium's been a long time coming. Dipped out quite a few times last year. It was unfortunate. I tried the pace with Jamie and Ross at the start, but they're on fire, so I just sort of settled for 3rd. And yeah, it's been a long time coming. I'm glad to be up here.
We hope to see another podium from you. Any sponsors to thank?
Yeah, I'd like to say a big thanks to my granddad, Bob Jones Heating Services. Big thanks to Carly at Forcefield for all the body armour. EC Electricals, Mum and Dad, all the family and friends, and the Fun Sport GB crew.
Thank you, well done.
Thanks.
And 2nd position goes to Jamie Thackeray. You must be pleased with that trophy in your hands, and you got a fastest lap of that race.
Yeah, I'm having a really good weekend. I had a good day yesterday as well, and it's a few of my first. Well, I don't have many podiums, so yeah, I appreciate them all. that race were a bit tough, a bit easier than the last one because I was following, and I just thought I'd stick behind Ross till the end and try and make a move on the last lap, keep everybody else away. But I just want to say a big thanks to my sponsors, North Yorkshire Road Race Supporters Club, Ian for all the help he's done with my bike and the tyre. Also a big thanks to my mum and dad and my grandma and granddad because you know, I wouldn't be able to race without them. And yeah, and thanks to Thundersport as well.
Well done, thank you. But the winner is Ross Twyman. That was a super close race, and you just pipped the win on the last few corners.
Yeah, I didn't realise he was there, and then he made a move up the top, and I just, you know, completely oblivious to it. But no, fair play to Jamie. He's riding really well this weekend, and well, so has everyone. And yeah, just well, thoroughly enjoyed that one.
Well done. Any sponsors to thank?
Yeah, I'd just like to say thanks for Brinkman Engineering, Wellvent Refrigeration, my dad, Thundersport GB, Ian and Mara, and Aprilia.
Well done.
Cheers. Well, we're 2 races down here at Donington Park, but 2 still to go. Join us again after the break. Donington Park, the National Circuit, 2013, round 2. Well, I don't know about spring. It's more like winter still out there. We'll see Santa popping his head out from pit wall any second now. Curtis Drew there, number 101, is on pole position for the Aprilia Superteens race 2. He got himself on the podium in race 1. There's Bradley Peary. We understand he tucked his front. And then he's even just doing the actions there for you, exactly what happened in race 1. It's like a game of charades for Bradley on the grid at the moment. He tucked the front on the penultimate lap whilst leading on some stones heading into the final chicane. Zach Corduroy there ended up finishing second. There was Charlie Nesbitt. Charlie was a little bit absent from that first race. He'll be looking to get himself well in the mix for this one. He's a 12-year-old newcomer from Swindon. I say he's you know, despite the fact that he's only 12 years old, he's got stacks of experience. He's been on a bike since he was 3 years of age, and he's actually come from Spain. Last year he spent a lot of the season in Spain doing some racing, so he is a newcomer to Aprilia's, but keep an eye out for number 86. In the background there is your race winner from earlier, number 95, Ross Simpson, just tucking in and about 3rd place. It looked like a good start also for Joe Sheldon Shaw from the 2nd row as they head out of Redgate through Hollywood and down into Craner Curves. So it's Curtis Drew that leads, 101 from Bradley Peary as they come out of Craner Curves and into the old hairpin. This is where Bradley Peary was fast in race 1, and he is here in race 2. Simpson in 3rd. And doing a decent job as Zach Corduroy once again not getting off to a decent start, and has got a lot of work to do. Where's Charlie Nesbitt? Trying to find him. The bright helmet in the green wheels, that's Lewis Good, number 88, having a good race. And there is the Nitro Newcomers winner from race 1, Cameron Tenzing Jenkins, as they tip into Coppice Corner. It's a blind entry point. Those of you that have ever done a track day or raced around Donington will know that you tip into Coppice there. It's completely blind on approach, and it feels like you're tipping off the edge of the planet. There is Ross Simpson looking a lot more relaxed and confident after his race 1 win. He admitted that he was quite lucky to get it, but he'll take every single point. Onto the start-finish straight we come, and despite the fact that Bradley Peary had got the lead back, it's Curtis Drew with it, but no, up the inside again for Bradley Peary into turn 1. You can see the Mini Moto racing stickers on the side of Curtis Drew's bike. That certainly brings back the memories of 2008. Fraser Rogers, the newcomer champion back then, was racing under the same colours. There's a number of riders out there racing for the Mini Moto banner. Into the old hairpin they go, and Simpson now takes a place up the inside of Curtis Drew, and that is Charlie Nesbitt joining them. Another rider with a Mini Moto stickers on the side of his Mini Moto racing stickers on the side of his bike. Where is Zach Corduroy? If he can get himself in the mix, we will have a definite. There he is, right on cue. He's just in between Will Keynes and Lewis Good. He's going to try and make himself a part of that chasing battle for the win. So around and onto the back straight we go. Number 97 it is that leads. That is Bradley Peary. Then number 86, Charlie Nesbitt from 101, Curtis Drew. Where on earth has Ross Simpson just disappeared to momentarily? So he must have just fallen back a bit. He's had a moment somewhere on circuit. Onto the start-finish straight we go. And it's now a battle between number 86 there, Charlie Nesbitt, who leads the race overall. Does he know? Bradley Peary back up the inside. Peary is very late on the brakes around this Donington Park circuit. But here comes Nesbitt again. Up the inside into Hollywood. There is number 23. That's Nathan Harrison, a 14-year-old on the Quayside Racing Aprilia, having a decent battle further back through the pack. But back at the front, well, it's anyone's guess who's going to win this one. Zach Corduroy from third to first, maybe. That's a great move around the outside into Schwantz Curve and then up the inside into McLean's. Zach Corduroy. He had a lot of work to do, but he is leading. Well, he was. Not much longer. Here's Brad Peary up the inside, and Nesbitt just tucked in fourth. Simpson is in... Nesbitt up to third, Simpson fourth. Curtis Drew has fallen back a bit in fifth place, ahead of what looks to be the number 88 and number 7, which is Lewis Good and Will Keynes. Down into the chicane, it's Peary still just leading from Zach Corduroy. That is where Bradley Peary crashed in race 1, and luckily not a similar situation for him in this race. This really is very close at the front and pulling out of the slipstream now on the inside. Number 86, the 12-year-old Charlie Nesbitt. Can he get himself up front? But look who's coming all the way around the outside there. Zach Corduroy using that strange line on the exit of pit lane, which is working for him. You know, he's getting better drive out of Redgate, and he leads down into Craner Curve. Further back, that's number 58, Tristan Finocchiaro, and he uses the number 58 for obvious reasons. His hero was Marco Simoncelli for the young Italian. He's half Italian, half English, but 58 is his number. Should be easy to remember for the 2013 season. Number 97 it is that leads. He'll want 25 points after failing to pick up anything in race 1. And the last lap flag is out. Across the start-finish line we go, and it is down to 3 riders for the overall win. Number 97, Bradley Peary. Number 22, Zach Corduroy, who goes up the inside. A good move there from Corduroy. And it's Charlie Nesbitt in third, who runs wide on the exit of Redgate, and that could be it. That could be curtains now for Nesbitt. He will cruise round and should take a podium, but it's just down to 2 now. They're in amongst traffic. They go down into the old hairpin. This is where Peary is so strong, but he can't find a way through now. Corduroy from Peary, the 2 riders that we expected to see at the sharp end. Ross Simpson is further back in 5th place, behind Curtis Drew. He won't get himself on the podium. What a move by Brad Peary. He nudges Corduroy out of the way, but Corduroy fights back into McLean's. They head up now towards Coppice Corner, and this is going to go all the way to the line. Peary has got the inside line for Coppice Corner, will surely regain the lead again, and he closes the door to Zach Corduroy. Great final lap this in the Aprilia Super Teens. Is this a dress rehearsal for what we've got all season long? They're side by side, down the back straight, under what used to be the Dunlop Bridge, and down into the final flick now. Peary's got the inside line, but Corduroy's got so much speed, he almost tucks the front onto the start-finish line. What a race here at Donington Park. Checkered flag out. Zach Corduroy takes the win ahead of Bradley Peary. What a race that was in the Aprilia Dunlop Super Teen. Superb stuff from the pair of them. We'll have a bit more of that, please, throughout the season. Great stuff again from Corduroy and Brad Peary. And confirmation then of the results as we get our breath back. Corduroy wins from Peary. Charlie Nesbitt third, wins the newcomers ahead of Curtis Drew. Ross Simpson and William Keynes take 6th place. So on the podium there, Corduroy the winner, Peary on the left and Charlie Nesbitt on the right. And Nesbitt, well, he will pick up the newcomers win in his third in the championship. Still close though between Corduroy and Bradley Peary. The newcomers podium should look like this. Charlie Nesbitt wins it from Edmund Best and Cameron Tenzing-Jenkins in third place. And it's Nesbitt that has a substantial lead heading into Snetterton the next round ahead of Tenzing-Jenkins and Jordan Boyle.
Charlie Nesbitt comes first in the Nitro Newcomers and third position overall in the Super Teens. You must be happy with that because that was a really tough race out there.
Yeah, it was more fun than any of the other races, so yeah.
And your first time at Donington Park, you like it here?
Yeah, it's one of the best circuits I've been to in my life, basically.
And any sponsors to thank?
Yeah, I'd like to thank all my sponsors on my high vis, Julian from Mini Motor Racing and Scott Finley.
Well done, thank you. And second position in the Super Teens goes to Bradley Peary. You must be happy with this position because you had an unfortunate first race.
Yeah, the first race wasn't a good one. First race wasn't good, like. I was leading it and I thought I'm on it, and then I saw a yellow flag and I thought it's okay. I saw the bike's off the track, and then I flicked over to the left and like a load of gravel. I was like, oh my god. And I went down and I was like, oh, nice one. And yeah, it's alright. I've been having a good weekend so far. I had a bit of a nightmare on Sunday because I had to change gearbox is messed up big time, so I changed the engine, which I never used before. It's like a big gamble, but it's alright. I mean, it's not the best, but it's alright.
And it's worked for you this race. Any sponsors to thank?
I'd like to thank Brian Gregg, Bob Jackson, Owen Sainz, Torres Roofing, In Competition, Dunlop, Mum and Dad, everyone, just everyone.
Thank you, well done. And first position goes to Zach Corduroy. You had to do some battling there to get to the front of that leading pack.
Yeah, after a really terrible start, it just took me quite a long time to catch them back up. I got them on about second from last lap. Brilliant race.
Excellent. Any sponsors to thank?
I'd like to thank Machine Shack, Thundersport, Aprilia and Dunlop.
Well done, thank you.
Well, what a fabulous race here at Donington Park, and we've still got one more to come. Join us after the break for the final race of the Aprilia 450s. Donington, the national circuit here, round 2, 2013, the final race of this programme here on Motors TV. Number 94 there lines up on pole for the Aprilia RRV 450s. Of course, he finished second in race 1 to Ross Twyman. Couldn't quite find a way through. Harry Coomber, number 61, who went AWOL. He's got his fingers crossed. There was a problem with the throttle sensor, we understand, from race 1, so he's hoping to get that fixed. He is the championship leader. Is there any stopping this young man, though? Ross Twyman from Canterbury, who looked electric in race 1. Bradley Jones there, number 75. He finished in a bit of a lonely third. He will just do his very best to try and get himself on those top 2 steps and keep with the leaders. But Harry Coomber will have something to say about this. He is championship leader. He's not got a win to his name so far here at Donington after a fantastic effort at Brands Hatch. We're at Snetterton next month. It's still early days, but we are off here for race 2 in the Aprilia 450s, and it looks like a decent start from Harry Coomber, the championship leader, number 61, but an even better start for number 15, Ross Twyman. But Harry Coomber all the way around the outside. It was anyone's guess who was going to get the lead into there, because it was also a good start from Bradley Jones. But as we tip down into Craner Curves, it looks as though Harry Coomber and Ross Twyman are up at the sharp end, and it is Twyman that leads from Coomber, the championship leader, number 61, ahead of Jones. A bit of a nudge going on further back there. That looks like Louis Dawson and Luke Thackeray just having a tete-a-tete. The good thing is if they do swap paintwork, it's the same colour, so shouldn't be too much of a drama, and straight back up the inside goes Luke Thackeray, number 94, the younger brother of Jamie Thackeray, who finished second, of course, in race 1. Down the back straight we come, and it is Ross Twyman still leading now from Bradley Jones, and Harry Coomber's obviously lost some ground through McLean's and Coppice. There's David Allingham on the Beamer Aprilia, just in 4th or 5th place, still recovering from that bruised collarbone of, I say bruised, it was broken. It's certainly sore at the moment, and he'll look to be back to his best at Snetterton. Twyman leads, Jones second, Allingham in 3rd. Further back there is number 95 and number 22. 95, Luke Thackeray, as mentioned before. 22, Alex Baker on the red blade Aprilia. Down into Craner Curves, and they're all just letting Ross Twyman get away a bit here. It's Jones in 2nd, Allingham in 3rd. There's Ben Luxton on the JDF Aprilia 450, the 18-year-old from Stockport. But that was a fine second race lap from Ross Twyman, and he's getting away. Allingham now moves up to 2nd. That's Will Hodgson in 4th place. getting himself in the mix, and here comes Harry Coomber around the outside. Well, he got some supreme drive out of McLean's then, and hangs it around the outside of Will Hodgson into Coppice. Onto the start-finish straight we come, and he's gone. He's absolutely gone. Ross Twyman, who's had a fantastic weekend so far at Donington, really got the bit between his teeth here, and whilst everybody else tussles for second place, he's building himself an unassailable lead. There is number 11, David Allingham, up the inside of Will Hodgson. They continue that battle that they were having from race 1, but look at Harry Coomber there. Harry with the white helmet and the blue stripe on, number 61, the championship leader. He'll need as many points as he can possibly get to try and maintain the advantage at the top of the standings. And David Allingham just had a bit of a front-end wobble then, tipping into the old hairpin. That's allowed Will Hodgson just to go through once more. But that's a good battle here for second between Will Hodgson, 14, and 11, David Allingham, 61, Coomber. That's number 9, Ben Luxton. And then up the inside of number 9 goes Bradley Jones from Stalbridge on the Bob Jones Heating Aprilia. He's just 15 years old, but it's Allingham that leads, the 18-year-old from Eglinton in Northern Ireland on the Beemore Aprilia. He only had his debut back in 2010, and he's come on so well since then. But look at this lead from Ross Twyman. I've never seen a rider improve so much over the space of a weekend as Ross Twyman has. He's blitzed this already. He could literally cruise round, have a picnic down Craner Curves, get back on, and still be leading. Allingham second, Hodgson third. There is 75. Bradley Jones in 4th place, ahead of Harry Coomber and Ben Luxton. Further behind Ben, there's a good battle forming between Louis Dawson and the two brothers, Jamie and Luke Thackeray. Jamie Thackeray, who finished second in race 1, if you're wondering why he's not fighting for the lead, well, he took a tumble in a separate race to the Aprilia 450, absolutely wrecked his 450, and luckily for him, Ian Newton of In Competition has lent him a 450, so he's out there on borrowed machinery, and needless to say, he's just nursing that around to get some points rather than fighting for his life at the sharp end of this race. So Jamie will be back Snetterton next month, but it's disappointing to not see him up fighting for the lead, although he'd have his work cut out, wouldn't he, catching Ross Twyman. This is a fantastic effort from Ross. He is lapping a 1.5 seconds quicker than everybody else each lap that they go around, and these guys just keep on tripping themselves up, and adding them up the inside of Will Hodgson. Will Hodgson, though, just hanging on, and he has to lift up his knee there, otherwise he'd have got clattered by the Northern Irishman, and Allingham just puts his arm up to say, cheers, mate, sorry about that. Twyman it is that leads. He's already exiting the old hairpin. It's Allingham then in second. What really is up for grabs, second place here, isn't it? Any one of these riders could get their hands on 20 points. The problem is, with there being 4 or 5 riders that are going for second place, there's a big difference between 20 points for second and some 11 or 10 points if you're finishing in 5th or 6th. So they want to get as many as possible. That is the gaggle of bikes fighting further back for 6th place onwards. Currently being led by Jamie Thackeray on borrowed machinery, number 94. Last lap flag is out, and Ross Twyman, well, he'll be coming round to lap them soon. He's almost got the entire length of the start-finish straight here at Donington Park. Very unusual in an Aprilia 450 race, I have to say. In fact, let's check the record books. I can't remember the last time somebody has won a race by this distance in the dry. Allingham has now got a firm grip on second ahead of Will Hodgson. Then it's number 75, Bradley Jones, the championship leader. 61, Harry Coomber there, fighting with Ben Luxton. At this rate, Harry Coomber, well, he's going to lose a huge amount of points in the championship. It could lead us into a tasty Snetterton in Norfolk in a month's time. But what can you say about Ross Twyman? It has been, without a shadow of a doubt, his best weekend ever in the history of his short career so far, anyway. A good effort here from Ross. Second place, still to Allingham at the moment. Will Hodgson is fighting for it, though, as is championship leader Harry Coomber. 75, Bradley Jones is looking good also. In fact, Jones is looking like he's going to make a move, and well, that's a battle further back. That's between Lewis Rollo and number 22, Alex Baker. Lewis Rollo barging his way up into the top 8 after a weekend he'll probably want to forget. Meanwhile, out front, well, the battle still goes on for second. Ross Twyman is in a different county. That is a superb win for Ross. 50 points from the day here in the 450s. Further back, who is going to take second place? Well, it's going to be close, but across the line it is David Allingham, the Ulsterman, that takes it ahead of Bradley Jones. Ben Luxton with a good result there in 4th place. Harry Coomber down in 5th. So Harry loses out on quite a few points this weekend. And, well, it's unfortunate for him that he had that mechanical issue in race 1, but at least he's okay. Ross Twyman wins. David Allingham 2nd ahead of Jones, Luxton, Coomber. And Louis Dawson takes a good solid 6th place ahead of Jamie Zachary. And there is Ross, centre of your picture. So what's that done for the points then heading into Snet? Well, I can tell you, Twyman leads by 2 points with Allingham not far behind. Tasty stuff.
In the Aprilia RRV 450 GP Cup, Bradley Jones takes the 2nd, 3rd position. How did you find the race? It was very close out there.
Yeah, it was hectic. I mean, there was 4 or 5 people going at it. You know, Ross got away at the start. I think he was in a lucky position just to get away, but fair play to him. He's rode a blinder this weekend, and yeah, that race was hectic, passing every corner. No, it was great. I enjoyed it.
Excellent. And any sponsors you'd like to thank?
I'd like to say thanks to Kerry Rawson Photography. I forgot her last time. I'd like to say thanks to my granddad, Bob Jones Heating, EC Electricals, Carly at Forcefield, all the Thundersport crew, Nevis Marketing, and I think that's it.
Well done, thank you.
Cheers.
And the 2nd position goes to David Allingham. He gets on the podium this weekend. You must be pleased with that.
Yeah, I'm so happy to be on the podium. Finally, I've only got on the podium once all weekend and been struggling really hard. Ross has been flying out front, you can't really catch him, but yeah, we just changed our settings for this race. Says we were going to have to go out and go for it this last race, try and get a podium. It was a fun race, like I was passing every corner. Unfortunately, sorry to say, he crashed in the last corner, but no, it was a good race. I'm really happy with that.
Good. And any sponsors you'd like to thank?
Yeah, I'd like to give a big shout out to the Be More boys, EHA Group, my mechanic Rory Grimes for coming this weekend. He's such a big help. Like Ian Newton, Jimmy, Brad Stone, everybody. Thank you very much.
Well done.
Thank you.
And the winner of 2 450 races today is Ross Twyman. You had a storming lead in that race. You didn't see anyone behind you?
No, I just sort of, try to get a rhythm from the start. I had a bit of battling at the start with Brad and Dave, I think, but yeah, once I got in a rhythm, I just sort of tried to pull the pin and keep going.
And are you looking forward to Snetterton? Have you been there before, the next round?
Yeah, Snetterton last year, that's where I started to pick up the pace a bit, so hopefully we might be able to do the same again.
Well done. And any sponsors to thank?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Brinkman Engineering, Wellvent, my dad, Ian and Mara, and the Olivers for this week, coming this weekend and helping me out.
Well done on you, Ian.
Cheers, thanks.
Well, we've seen some close racing and some excellent individual performances from Steve Day here and Grace down in pit lane. We will see you at Snetterton in Norfolk.